Hello, Dollar General friends. I did find just over 220 penny items this week. I did go into 6 different stores. I am going to show you footage of all the places that I found penny items this week in this video. And I'm going to talk about some things I don't think I've talked about before. For one thing, I do want to remind you to look for the winter hardware items. These are things that a lot of stores don't realize are following winter hardware. I thought I had bought all of these 9-foot extension cords when they were 70% off, but I was able to find another full case of them in a store for a penny. I did have a very nice cashier in the first store that I went in. She was surprised to see these draft blockers ringing up a penny. She said that she needed one and didn't know that they sold them, and she also thought these drinking glasses were cool. So I did ask her which car was hers, and I put a couple of each in her car. Dollar General employees are not allowed to buy penny items, but there's no rule against giving someone a gift. So if you have a really nice cashier and you want to share with them, it is always a nice idea to ask which car in the parking lot is theirs, and maybe leave them a little something just to spread the penny joy around. Another thing I just want to mention real quick is make sure you look for the winter items and all of the novelty gift items on the tables of clearance merchandise. A lot of stores mix that stuff in with their clearance stuff on tables during the last clearance event, so that's a great place to find these items still sitting around. I did find it kind of humorous that I found one Easter item again this week. Last week, during the penny food haul, I got 1 bag of Easter candy. This week, I got 1 bag of Easter eggs. Something I had forgotten to mention in some of my other videos is you do want to check the collegiate merchandise in your store. Whatever area you live in, they will have different kinds of shirts and pants. As you can see, where I shop, I find Alabama merchandise and, believe it or not, Tennessee merchandise. They're rivals, but I find both in my stores. And if you notice on the tags, these are actually gray dot items. Even if you go in a store where everyone has bought all the winter items, you're likely to still find some of this collegiate merchandise left behind because people don't know that it's following the gray dot. Even employees don't know. If you go over to the area where this merchandise is kept and where all the clothing is, a good way to find these, the most easy way for me, was I just looked for anything that was long sleeves. And basically all of the long sleeves were gray dot items, which are ringing up a penny. I did find one super old penny item. This is from 2019. If you find any of these random phone squishies, they pop up in clearance sections around me every now and then. They are a penny. The only food items I found while looking for winter stuff was this one box of cereal, and I did find some Starburst gum. I know I haven't shared a visual of the gum before with the UPC because I have never found it before, so I wanted to make sure I shared that in this video in case you want to look for this Starburst gum. I found this up by the registers, so you might get lucky and find some of those right at the register when you go to check out with your penny items. And one of the other things I wanted to mention is some of these blue dot items don't look like winter items. They look like summer items. There's Disney hats and sunglasses that are blue dots, so they're a penny. And I wanted to make sure I show you some of the bags that I got for a penny. These Disney 100 Years bags are blue dots, so they're a penny. And I wanted to show you some of the other purses that are blue dots. I know some of these purses can also be found as yellow dots full price, but if you see an end cap or a section full of accessories, you can look for purses with these patterns, and there's a chance they might be a blue dot and you might find yourself some penny items. Some of them look pretty summery, so it's kind of surprising that they're following the winter markdowns. I did find almost an entire full end cap of the sweatshirts and pants that were a penny. I'm not pulling these out and sorting them because there are so many. I'll probably sort them eventually, pull out the ones that my family can use, and this is definitely a great item for donating. I just wanted to show you my pile of sweats that I did get as a part of my penny haul this week. I did forget, I also planned on mentioning, look for these light clips. They are following the fall hardware But there is a UPC code that is ringing up full price, and there is a UPC code that is ringing up a penny. So make sure you look for this barcode. This is the one that's going to ring up a penny. Make sure you don't just grab all of these. Check the barcode on each one and scan them with your app so you know it is the penny clips. Now, let me show you footage of all the places that I found these items in all of my stores. The first thing I want to show you is something to give you a warning. There are new Blue Dot items already out that are full price, so you can't just grab everything with a blue dot. Some of it is new and full price, so you really got to pay attention. Make sure you scan things with your app as always. Of course, end caps are a great place to find some of these penny items. This winter stuff has sat out for a long time, so it has been moved to wherever the store has display space. So there's a good chance they're just going to be sitting on end caps, waiting to be found. These decals did originally come in this cardboard display, so they could be down any aisle. In this store, I found them in the home goods aisle. I've seen them on the toy aisle since they have a lot of kids decals in them. I've seen them on the automotive aisle. These could be anywhere in your store, so this is one of those kind of walk down every aisle to find it kind of items. Make sure you dig around any messy clothing section that you find. Usually the messier the better, because that means they haven't sorted through it and pulled out the old penny items. And like I said, look for long sleeve things. All these collegiate shirts that say sweatshirt were gray dots, so look for the long sleeves. That's an easier way to find some of these penny shirts without having to scan every item. I did find a random blue dot purse hanging with the clothes in this store as well. I have mentioned it before and I will say it again. Wherever you see accessories in your store, even if it looks like a lot of yellow dot new items, make sure you dig around, because there's a good chance a couple of the older blue dot items have found their way in with the newer stuff and are hiding, and they're a penny and they're just waiting for you to take them home. I always try to dig through the accessories. Like I said with the clothes, the messier the section, the better, because that means you're going to find the hidden stuff. And I would also say, make sure if you see any hats that you really go through them, because a lot of the yellow dot hats and the blue dot hats are just stacked together. Sometimes it's easier to save shelf space and smush all the hats together, so there's a good chance you find them in the same stack. So make sure you really pull things apart, look at the tags, and see if you can find things and find the hidden penny items. The next place you want to check, as always, is the seasonal promotional aisle, where they put the things that change every season. It's summer stuff right now. Next, it will go to Halloween stuff. It used to be Easter stuff, but on the seasonal aisle, you're going to find some of these winter things still mixed in because the stores didn't have anywhere else to put them. And make sure you pay extra close attention to wherever your store is keeping their brown dot items. The novelty winter items that are a penny do have brown dots on them, so a lot of stores are mixing them in with the other brown dot merchandise. The other brown dot merchandise is 50% off in most stores now. I think some stores still have it at 25% off, but the brown dot novelty gifts are a penny. A lot of stores mix them into the same sections because they all have brown dots, and then they don't realize that these were the novelty items that have gone to a penny this last week. I did literally find these keychains on the floor at this store, so really make sure when I say look everywhere, I mean look everywhere. This store was amazing. This is the end cap that I found, still mixed with all the gray dot penny sweatshirts and jogging pants. I did bring my husband shopping with me this time. He usually doesn't go, and he was so nervous about our overflowing cart of penny items. He was like, I get why people get nervous. It can be really intimidating when you fill up an entire cart and you don't know whether the cashier is going to be nice to you or whether they're going to be very mad at you. Lucky for us, the cashier in the store was incredibly nice. She was the manager and she was just happy that we had emptied out an end cap for her. So it was a really great shopping experience. Another thing I want to remind you is to look at the clip strips. Clip strips are what people in retail call the displays that are hanging off of the side of the shelf. A lot of times that's a great place to display things that can hang, and so stores tend to not check them when they're pulling penny items. So check any hanging display, make sure you pay attention to what's hanging there. These light clips had been hanging in my store since before Christmas, so I knew I was going to find some of those for a penny. Don't forget to check at the registers for the hand warmers that have gone to a penny. There's lots of different versions, and there's several register candies that went to a penny with the surprise penny food list. So make sure while you're up at the register, you look around you. And I did find a bag of the snow melter in the automotive section in one of my stores, so you might want to check over there for some of the winter hardware items. Now I want to show you a couple things that I thought was sort of funny. No penny left behind, but I'm going to show you the pennies I left behind. I did find this blue dot keychain, but it was just the head, so I left that. I found a broken ink pen. Couldn't find a use for that, so I left it behind. In this store, I thought I had spotted a brown dot item. I was excited about it, and when I pulled it out, someone had already stolen it, so I did leave the empty box that would have cost a penny behind. And I did leave almost 4 full cases of grape juice in a store because I've already got several, and it would be hard to transport all these with my car already being pretty full, so I'm hoping someone else found them and got really excited about them. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I hope it helps you find a whole lot of penny items. I hope that you've all got a big winter blue and gray dot haul this week and everything you need for next winter. Until next time, bye!